really wants to review movies and games. So why don't you all come along so that you may hear his voice will go high pitched? He's got a hat that is fucking cool and also fucking epic. So sit back and get associated with X to show his epic, awesome, cool, sweet, and bitchy. It's X-rated.
Hey guys, xthedarkone here with another episode of X-Rated. Now, the end of the world, that's happening. We all know it's coming. Someone's going to set some kind of nuke off, some fucking Tom Clancy bollocks is going to happen, and we're going to be left in a post-apocalyptic pile of shit. Well, I know I'm going to be set for life. I know a lot of other people might be set for life too as well, because we've had a couple of games come out that have changed the way we think about survival in that kind of world. I'm talking about Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Now, these games are fantastic, and we're going to talk about them today because guess what? There's a new Fallout coming any minute, any day now. Couple of weeks down the line, we're going to be getting some new games. So let's dive straight into this.
Both developed by Bethesda, these games both brought a new element to this post-apocalyptic RPG FPS. From in-depth worlds, interesting characters, and great storytelling, there is always something new to do.
So let's dive straight into this and talk about the story.
In Fallout 3, your character is born and raised within Vault 101, and after your father, played by Liam Neeson, escapes the vault to continue his research for clean water in the wasteland, it is down to you to track him down and unravel the mysteriousness of your past, yeah, those words, and help shape the future. In New Vegas, your roots are a little less known, as you start off as a courier who's been dealt the worst hand possible when an attempted murder on your life sends you on a path of vengeance.
That's basically all I can tell you. That's sort of the basic gist of both stories. But the story goes off in so many different ways, I can't honestly tell you the rest of it. I mean, sure, they both have their endings, which you will eventually get to, but the journey is always different.
In Fallout 3, you can sacrifice yourself for the greater good.
It's all about the greater good.
The greater good.
Or team up with the Enclave for their greater good.
The greater good.
Or team up with the Brotherhood. The same with Vegas. The ending is pretty much based on all your past actions and who you help. You can help Mr. House, Caesar's Legion, or the NCR. Or use Yes Man to take over everything yourself for the greater good.
The greater good.
Shut it! Suffice to say, the main story isn't the only thing great about this game.
Normally, the sign of a bad RPG are when it has boring, bland side quests that are usually repetitive or tedious as dicks. But in the Fallout games, the side quests are not only in-depth with a good story and a deep lore, but a lot of them have really their own bunch of crazy and unique characters.
However, survival is the key here, and training the right skills is always important.
In Fallout, it works like this. You have individual stats you can increase with each level up. These range from how good you are with a gun to how much of a nerd you are with computers. Then, you have your special skills. These special stats stand for strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. These you can set at the start of the game, and they offer bonuses to your individual stats. These can only be increased by reading special comics, or what I tend to do is spamming the intense training perk to raise your special. Oh, that's the point. Depending on your difficulty, you can also gain new perks, to which all add to make your character the most feared badass in the wasteland.
All these options make for a great gaming experience, and it means grinding is fun. None of this whole, defeat a tiny little enemy a shitload of times. Oh, you got a computer you can't hack, you 10 points off? Go off, do a side quest, level up, and then bump up your science by 10, and then hack the computer to shit.
As well as skills and specials, you can always get temporary buffs from the countless items scattered throughout the wasteland. Just be careful not to get addicted, that come down can be a bitch. But as long as your health is up and your rads are down, you'll be fine.
Unless you're playing on hardcore mode. Ooh.
That's right, New Vegas introduced a new mode for the more venturous player. That meant stim packs worked over time, you had to use a doctor's bag or see a doctor for damaged limbs, and you also had a H2O bar, a food bar, and a sleep bar. You let any of these go too high and you debuff to hell and eventually die. While I've always avoided this mode for the sake of enjoying the story, my current playthrough of it, I felt I had to tackle the game with it on. Now, I thought with hardcore mode on, I'd be too focused on my supplies to really enjoy the game, but actually the inclusion of all this survival really made me feel more invested in the game. You really get a sense of survival instinct. I mean, it's not just Deathclaws and Raiders you need to be aware of now. Normally, I just stock up on stim packs and head out, but now I've found I don't use them nearly as much in hardcore. Not because I don't need them, but of how less effective they are. Normal mode, your health low, you just couple of stim packs, you're well again. Hardcore mode, you take one stim pack, maybe some food, then you hide for dear life or run like a chicken shit until your health is back. Also, when your companions die, they are dead, which makes you more invested in their safety, not a pack mule for when you're over encumbered.
If you haven't played the game with hardcore mode on, guys, and you really want a new challenge, I really do recommend it. However, I know I've been talking a lot of praise about Fallout, but don't think it comes without its own set of problems.
While the game has some great talents in, like Liam Neeson, a lot of the performances are quite bland and expressionless. I mean, some of these huge names weren't bad, but you can really tell who had previous voiceover experience and who didn't. The biggest guilty party being Matthew Perry, who played Benny in New Vegas. Out of all the big names in these games, Matthew Perry's performance as this charming, charismatic, silver-tongued devil sounded bored and disinterested, like all he wanted was a paycheck.
What in the goddamn? Let's keep this in the groove, hey? Smooth moves, smooth. You're platinum, pussycat. You know how to swing. Nice Charlies, too. Give him a shake for the Ben man, will you? Hello.
And while some of the acting is bland, it doesn't take away from the overall feel of this game. Back in my Spider-Man review, I said the aspect of a great game is the level of complete immersion you should get when you play it. In role-playing games like this, that's even more important. This is you, in the wasteland, fighting for your own survival, and so few games bury you so neck-deep in like the Fallout games do. There's so much to explore, so much to do, and so much variety with choices and likely outcomes. No new game you start ever plays out the same.
These games are the ultimate meaning of replay value. I mean, you can buy these games brand new, play them and complete them, and then in about 5 years' time, you still get the sudden itch to play one of these again. And I have no doubt in my mind that when Fallout 4 comes out in a few weeks, we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll play through the whole game, and then in a few years, we'll just get that itch. We'll be like, okay, I think I want to play Fallout again. Boom! And we'll be right back on. It'll be just as enjoyable and just as immersive as ever. As for these two games, however, well, I'm going to have to give them the X rating of epic. Well, that's it for another episode of X Rated. Tune in next week when I'll be reviewing another movie, but until then, I think I want to build a snowman. See you later, guys.